Maryland's law permitting only the non-elected state-level state superintendent to dismiss a local superintendent is archaic. It was enacted over 100 years ago in 1916 in response to a state report that found disturbing illiteracy figures for Maryland and inadequate buildings, frequent truancy, and badly trained teachers supervised by political appointees poorly educated themselves.
The situation in Howard County, however, taught us that a local superintendent can veto any offered buyout and demand any sum they want. Thus, the superintendent got a buyout of more than 2 times the value of the remaining 3 years on the contract.
I am aware that MABE and some of the other boards of education oppose this bill. To them, I would say that this bill gives you actually what you want. The rationale for your opposition is that you support the current process for terminating a local superintendent, and this bill does preserve that for them. The bill merely adds an alternative process as an option for those boards such as us, Howard County. Well, I'm the chairman of the Howard County Board of Education, Cindy Valancourt, sorry about that, that wish to use it. Out of collegial respect, I would not impose the local Board of Education option on your board, and if your board thinks that the current process serves your needs, then you should be welcome to continue to use it and to go to the state superintendent if you feel you have an issue. But that respect should be reciprocal. Please don't mandate your preference on our board or on other boards.
This was in 2002 when the state board reversed the decision of the PG County Board of Education to fire their superintendent. At the time, a spokesman for the National Association of State Boards of Education, Dave Griffith, stated, "I can't think of another state that does it this way. States are often reluctant to step into local educational issues because Americans have historically regarded schools as local institutions. Local boards of education are as American as apple pie and Chevrolet." Carl Smith, Executive Director of Maryland Association of Boards of Education, stated, "Our boards can hire superintendents, but they can't fire them. Isn't that sort of legal limbo?" In 2004, when the issue came up again with the board's desire to fire John O'Rourke, a former superintendent of Howard County, Carl Smith of MABE stated that Maryland is unique in terms of carving out a role for the state superintendent and even the state board in terms of hiring and firing. I know of no other state where this is the case, and we have taken a strong stance against the requirement. Given this platform and their past positions on this issue, it's disappointing that MABE does not support a local Board of Education's position on this.
But I'm here to give you the perspective of employees that were trapped with the disruptive superintendent that put her needs above those that are entrusted to educate every single child. Our last superintendent, Renee Foos, created an atmosphere of fear and retaliation. By the time the school board bought her out at a cost of $1.67 million of taxpayer money, employee morale was at an all-time low and class size was at an all-time high. Educators did not feel supported, and this inhibited their professional choice of curriculum and instruction in the classroom. However, employees were not the only recipients of her untruthful, alienating, and dismissive attitude. Many of our parents, community activists, and elected officials were treated similarly. When the community had had enough and elected a new school board, she decided to sue them for infringing upon her power. This suit cost the county over $500,000 and created continued distraction from the mission of the school system, educating students. Local school boards in 49 other states can terminate their superintendent, and we must ask the state superintendent to terminate ours? Please let me remind you that after Dr. Foos was forced out of Howard County, the current state superintendent offered her a job. Not only did Dr. Foos leave our county in financial disarray, we just recently learned that she kept an administrator that had an inappropriate relationship with a student. Please bring us into the 21st century and pass this bill.
We had a petition with over 1,500 signatures that we gave to our old board with specifics, violations of the Maryland Public Information Act, creating the huge health fund deficit, hiding mold from staff and parents and students who were ill. But our previous board didn't do anything about it. They just gave her a bigger contract. So we elected a new board, and that board tried to regain their supervisory position over the superintendent. And as you heard, she sued them. So our community knew the problems, our board knew the problems, but the state superintendent didn't. We give boards of education the responsibility of managing, in operating budgets alone of 24 counties, over $13 billion. Boards of education hear appeals. They write policies. They have executive, legislative, and judicial functions. And I am going to read one thing from the Maryland School Law Desk Book that MABE puts out. Page 1, sentence 1. The hallmark of American public education is local control, and that local control expresses itself in local boards of education. We just want this ability so that what happened in Howard County doesn't happen to anybody else. And I urge a favorable report on this. Thank you.